and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. He said, I'm only doing real fights. Now, of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But
Floyd Mayweather has just dropped another bombshell, calling out Terence Crawford to ditch his highly anticipated showdown with Canelo Alvarez in favor of a fight with him instead. But let's be real, this would be nothing more than an exhibition bout, though Mayweather might not see it that way. For Crawford, this fight adds zero prestige to his already stellar boxing legacy and does nothing to further his path to International Boxing Hall of Fame greatness. At best, it's just a quick and easy payday for the former undisputed welterweight king.
well, one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he, and Floyd,
What's up, bro? Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, boss. Keep it real.
I'm never that type.
For some reason, the boxing legend believes a fight between him and Terence Crawford would generate more money than Crawford versus Canelo. But at its core, this challenge seems to be about one thing for Floyd: finally settling the debate over who's the better fighter. With Crawford boasting the closest record to Mayweather's undefeated legacy, discussions about who deserves the title of the greatest boxer of all time have been ongoing for years. Maybe this fight will happen someday, but right now, it feels premature. Crawford is still an active fighter, chasing greatness, and has worked tirelessly to secure his bout with Canelo. It's highly unlikely he'd be willing to throw that opportunity away.
Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting. I never looked at him like.
Boxing fans have repeatedly drawn comparisons between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford, but Bud has never sought to diminish the 50-0 champion's rightful legacy. In fact, Crawford holds Mayweather in high regard. When asked about their similarities, Crawford had nothing but praise for the undefeated legend, acknowledging Floyd's greatness and even calling him the king. Despite the constant debates, it's clear that Crawford respects Mayweather's place in boxing history.
Hit and I get hit, and to make the adjustments that he's made to certain fighters. You know,
The pound for pound top fighter in boxing right now is Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, I just truly believe he doesn't have to be under my company for me to give a guy props. I'm not like that. You know, if he's ever free.
Crawford went on to highlight that while he and Mayweather share similarities in some aspects, there are key differences as well. He believes he takes more risks inside the ring, especially earlier in his career. Crawford also pointed out that any comparison depends on which version of Floyd Mayweather you're talking about. Asterisk Money Mayweather asterisk or Pretty Boy Floyd. He acknowledged that Pretty Boy was a relentless, seek-and-destroy fighter. But as Mayweather moved up in weight and began dealing with hand injuries, his style evolved. He could no longer rely on sheer power, forcing him to adapt against bigger opponents.
boxing, I think, you know, I take more chances, you know, right now. But earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know.
As Crawford himself admitted, he and Mayweather have a lot in common. However, boxing fans and analysts have long debated who the superior fighter truly is. In a recent comparison, one source even favored Crawford as the likely winner in a head-to-head matchup. That said, when it comes to pure boxing ability, few, if any, have ever showcased the art of this sweet science better than Floyd Mayweather Jr. His defensive brilliance, ring IQ, and ability to neutralize opponents have solidified his place among the all-time greats.
Depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. You talk about money or you talk about Pretty Boy, because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
And he want to go to any company. If he's a free agent, I would love to work with him if he's free. Because I know that what I can do is take him to that next level. Because with Jimmy Stanley, raw talent, hell of a fighter. And there's a lot of hell of a fighters out there.
Mayweather's crisp jab, precision timing, and elite counterpunching ability allowed him to dismantle a long list of opponents with surgical precision. What makes his dominance even more remarkable is that he did it across two distinct phases of his career.
Rich on the left hooks again. And the lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him. And then he hit his head off the Gomez here at the MGM.
Just as Crawford pointed out, Pretty Boy Floyd was the more aggressive version of Mayweather, pressing forward and breaking opponents down with speed and power. In contrast, Money Mayweather was a calculated, defensive genius, systematically outclassing his rivals with impeccable ring IQ. No matter which style you prefer, both eras of Mayweather's career cemented his status as a legend. Similarly, boxing fans are still in awe of what Terence Crawford did to Errol Spence in their last fight. His dominant performance wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. Crawford showcased a level of precision, power, and tactical brilliance that had many drawing comparisons to the greats, including Mayweather himself.
Jab. Defensive work. Chin.
Whether it was the power jab he repeatedly snapped through Spence's guard, his ability to punch in traffic, or the impeccable timing of his counters, Crawford put on a masterclass in boxing. While he has always displayed elite skills, we had never seen him dismantle a fighter of Spence's caliber in such dominant fashion. When it comes to pure boxing ability, few, if any, deserve to be ranked above Mayweather. However, Crawford's style is uniquely effective, blending precision, explosiveness, and versatility in a way that sets him apart. So, if Crawford were to face a prime Mayweather, how would their styles stack up? Could Crawford's laser-sharp punches break through Mayweather's disciplined defensive shell? Who would establish the jab first? Who would prove to be the sharper counterpuncher? It's a dream matchup for fight fans, one that would pit Mayweather's flawless sweet science against Crawford's calculated aggression.
Footwork.
There are so many ways this fight could play out that calling it a draw in certain aspects might be the fairest conclusion. How many times have we seen Mayweather lull his opponents into a false sense of security, draw them into the center of the ring, and then systematically break them down? His ability to compute information in real time, analyze his opponent's tendencies, and adjust accordingly made him nearly untouchable. With his ring IQ and his mantra of hit and not get hit, Mayweather rode his brilliance all the way to the Hall of Fame as an undefeated 5-division world champion. But Crawford has proven to be just as cerebral inside the ring. Becoming undisputed at both junior welterweight and welterweight, he has consistently showcased a masterful ability to adapt, break down, and dismantle elite opponents. While Mayweather's hand speed, especially in counterpunching, was a defining trait, Crawford's slashing angles and whiplash-like punch delivery give Bud the edge in overall speed.
Legacy.
Of Mayweather's 50 career wins, 27 came by knockout, a respectable number, but one that pales in comparison to Crawford's finishing ability. With 40 wins and 31 knockouts and counting, Crawford has proven to be the more explosive finisher, and he's still actively adding to his legacy. Rewind to Crawford's dismantling of Spence, a masterclass that saw him drop the former unified welterweight champion 3 times en route to a dominant 9th-round TKO. Spence wasn't just any opponent. He was a relentless pressure fighter who had systematically broken down elite names like Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Dennis Hughes. Yet Crawford made it look effortless, and his power played a massive role in that. On the other hand, Mayweather's brilliance wasn't built on power, but on unparalleled defensive mastery. Whether painting himself into a corner, rolling shots off his shoulder in the Philly shell, or using his free hand to deliver precise counterpunches, his ability to turn defense into offense was boxing IQ at its finest.
Look at this fence, unbelievable. Young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you see one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. If you wear it, then he's nowhere. You think you can. And again, it's not just hand.
Crawford possesses slick defense, no doubt, but Mayweather elevated the art of defensive boxing to near perfection. So, in this dream matchup, how would a fight between a prime Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford actually play out? After a tense opening round, where both fighters cautiously feel each other out, Crawford would likely be the busier fighter early on. He'd fire off quick combinations, forcing the action, even if many of his shots were absorbed by Mayweather's signature shoulder roll and high guard. Mayweather, as always, would stay composed, analyzing Crawford's timing and tendencies. By the middle rounds, we'd see Money Mayweather settle into his rhythm, using his jab to control the distance and frustrate Crawford. His pinpoint counters and strategic movement would allow him to bank rounds, slowly shifting momentum in his favor. But Crawford, known for his ability to adapt mid-fight, wouldn't go away quietly. He'd find ways to adjust, potentially switching stances and looking for angles to land his laser-sharp counters.
Movement of the head, the way he rolls with punches. Look at the way he makes a miss. I mean, here we go. To a series of punches, nothing really landed. Terrific fighter. Mayweather. Oh.
Yet, with a constant flow of pressure, Crawford's firepower could eventually find its mark, even managing to hurt Mayweather at times. His ability to mix up his attack, target the body, and land those sharp, whiplash punches might force Floyd into uncomfortable positions. As razor close as this fight would be, Crawford's relentless approach, combined with his ability to adjust and create openings, could be enough to sway the judges. His pressure, volume, and effectiveness in the later rounds might allow him to edge Mayweather on the scorecards, handing Money a rare points defeat.
Well, Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what did that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo. What did that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic, it makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight.
Terence Crawford, a 4-division world champion, has openly expressed his desire to take on Canelo Alvarez, the reigning super middleweight king. However, the significant weight disparity between the two presents a major challenge for the American fighter.
Boot time to take over and start beating the guys around him. He's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
Former heavyweight champion Ron Jr. weighed in on the potential showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. While he praised Crawford's exceptional talent and skill set, the boxing legend leaned toward Canelo as the favorite in this matchup.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying, like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to do to Boots? Boot time to take over and start beating the guys around him.
His analysis underscores the critical challenge Crawford would face, neutralizing Canelo's renowned power. If Bud can effectively impose his technical boxing skills, maintain distance, and avoid Canelo's devastating punches, he could stand a legitimate chance of pulling off a historic upset. However, executing that game plan against Canelo is easier said than done. Alvarez's ability to cut off the ring, counter with precision, and wear down opponents with relentless body shots has made him one of the most dominant fighters of this era.
Guys around him, he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looks trying to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He will take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight better beat that nigga. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
And now you want me to do something. Canelo's not coming down to 60.
It's Crawford who wants it. He wants the chance to prove it. He's the best.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And that's just, and again, that's one of what's happening on the shakeup of the New World Order, where you got fighters that's really 54 at best,
International Boxing Federation, IBF, interim champion William Skull has emerged as a potential opponent for Canelo Alvarez. However, this wasn't always the narrative for Roy Jones Jr., the Hall of Fame fighter. Now a promoter, trainer, and respected boxing analyst, initially envisioned scenarios where both Terence Crawford and David Benavidez could defeat Canelo Alvarez. Jones cited Crawford's elite technical skills and Benavidez's relentless pressure as key factors that could trouble the Mexican superstar.
Crawford, I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but I think Canelo's no big. He showed tonight that he's pretty big, so I probably would rather see.
Two-time 168 pounds title holder David Benavidez has been relentlessly pushing for a shot at Canelo Alvarez for the past 2 years, eager to prove himself as the best in the division. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford, formerly recognized as the top welterweight in the world, has expressed openness to jumping 2 weight classes for a chance to challenge the Mexican superstar. However, Alvarez remains dismissive of the idea, insisting that a victory over Crawford wouldn't significantly enhance his legacy. Despite this, many analysts and fans believe Bud has a legitimate chance to pull off an upset, given his exceptional skill set, adaptability, and ability to rise to the occasion.
Charlo fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo. Yes, but not right now. I want to see Crawford come up some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me? Crawford won a pound best fighter. To take on a Canelo who can actually fight a cruiserweight and maybe give a cruiserweight, especially at this moment, all the hell they can want. If you can't hurt a guy like Canelo, and you don't have height and depth to be able to at least have something to work with, then we're going to see another, what they say, boring fight, not say a smart fight.
Roy Jones Jr., a 4-division world champion who fluctuated in weight throughout the latter half of his career, believes Canelo Alvarez should remain at super middleweight moving forward.
You know, being that you're obviously, again, appealing to Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we going to see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13th, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Heard it.
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand?
Last year, Canelo Alvarez fought on September 14th, aligning with the Mexican Independence Day celebrations, and it's expected that his annual September fight will take place around the same time this year, on September 13th. Reports indicate that Canelo has already booked the T-Mobile Arena for that date, potentially setting up a showdown with Terence "Bud" Crawford. This fight would take place just about a year after Canelo's bout with Edgar Berlanga at the same location, a fight that, interestingly, clashed with a UFC event.
You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why not?
I understand the money grab. I understand it's about the bag. Crawford ain't 26. Another major network is saying they packing their bags up. You will see a lot of desperate moves jumping off. You will see a lot of very unrealistic, unorthodox, crazy thinking, crazy gossip.
You know, being that you're obviously, again, appealing to Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we going to see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13th, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Heard it.
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this
Crawford
confirmation here
Canelo.
first?
You understand? Yeah, it's confirmed. Man, what?
Say less.
Crawford versus Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford stand up, pound for pound, the best in the world, soon to be the super.
Despite the criticisms regarding his opponent choices, Canelo Alvarez has continued to sell out every arena he fights in, regardless of the competition. This trend is expected to continue later this year, when a much-anticipated fight against Terence Crawford is all but finalized. The fight is reportedly set for September 13th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, which promises to be a massive event. However, the question remains whether Canelo will remain inactive for that long. It seems unlikely, as Boxing Scene has uncovered several upcoming fight dates. According to their reports, 4 fight cards have been reserved on the Las Vegas Strip: March 22nd, March 29th, April 5th and May 3rd.
I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that. No disrespect him, but sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford, fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit.
Canelo Alvarez is now 34 years old, and while he has shown no signs of slowing down, he's increasingly acknowledging that he's nearing the end of his career. In a recent conversation with Ring Magazine, Canelo admitted that he doesn't know exactly when he'll retire, but he recognizes that he's getting closer to that point. He believes that feeling great and better than ever now, he may consider hanging up his gloves around 38, seeing that as the ideal age to start thinking about retirement. Canelo reflected on the difficult, risky fights he has taken throughout his career, fights he didn't necessarily need at the time. It's clear he thrives on challenges, enjoying the process of proving his skill and fighting against the best. He emphasized his love for jumping up and down in weight classes, and how, while he doesn't dwell on his record, his trainer always points out the remarkable achievements he's accomplished, including his victories over world champions. It's this drive and hunger for challenges that continues to fuel his passion for the sport.
Named you and Terence Crawford as one of the top 5 fights that he wants to see this year. Is that a fight that you're considering now?
We'll see. Everything is possible. We'll see. We want to talk about it, sit down really well and figure out something.
What do I think of that fight? Yeah. I think that, everybody knows that Crawford got this thing. I do think that Canelo's a little big for Crawford. Being tall task.
Middleweight contender Coron Davis, who has sparred with both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, recently shared his thoughts on how he thinks a potential fantasy matchup between the two would unfold. Davis, who also faced Canelo rival David Benavidez in November 2021, told Mill City Boxing that he believes it would be an extremely tough fight for Crawford, ultimately backing Canelo to win.
It'll be a lot to get that victory based on, size alone. Not that size wins fights, but you got a guy that got size and skill. It'll be hard.
Face Crawford. But you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight.
Stay tuned for the latest updates and reactions. And for more news in the world of boxing, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications to catch our latest content.